right, it's Tap In with TT, my special guest today. Saweetie is here.
Hey, TT.
Hi.
Tap in.
Tap in. I told you last time I saw you in LA that
It's happening quickly.
yes, look
at
how quick
us.
you tapped in.
So quick.
I mean, that was just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
How's everything been in the last 2 weeks? It's hot as hell in New York, right?
I wish it was hotter.
Really?
Yes, I love the heat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't breathe in the heat. I love it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a water girl, so I love the beach. But I don't like the humidity. That's the thing.
I love the humidity. My makeup looks the best in humidity too. So.
You got that J-Lo glow with the makeup.
Oh, thank you, girl.
Yeah, she does the best. The top knot buns with the glow, with the glowy look.
Honestly, you know what's funny about this top knot bun? I got tired of sitting in glam for so long, so I'm just like, please just put a bun on my head.
You're going to make fashion a Saweetie way. You know what I'm saying? You're going to figure it out. If it's a bun, it's not going to be a regular bun.
Yeah.
It's going to be multi-layered bun. What year did you have a big party? Because I did get an invite to that one because Kiona invited me to that one.
I did a Freaknik. I did
A Freaknik one. That was it. Was it the Freaknik one, Kiona? It was the Freaknik one.
Time to be alive.
I'm so mad I missed that party.
I'm mad you did too, girl. Because I don't know if I'm going to ever redo that.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. We had food trucks. We had Krispy Kremes come out at 12 a.m. We had big beach volleyballs.
You know, Krispy Kremes is my favorite.
Right, you know, I had all the food there.
Yeah. But it's crazy, like, you're a foodie, but you don't look like it.
I think I got a fast metabolism.
Because you're young. Wait till you get to your 30s and mid-30s. It's like, that shit goes away.
Oh, girl.
That metabolism.
I could wait.
It's like Ozempic on 911 speed dial, okay? But no, you look good. So enjoy the fast metabolism.
You look good too, though.
Now. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. But I was going to tell you, when I was pregnant with my son, I used to have a Krispy Kreme donut every day, warmed up.
Chocolate or glaze?
Glazed.
Glaze.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Have you ever
good.
put some ice cream in between some Krispy Kreme donuts?
No.
Vanilla bean ice cream.
It's so good.
It's delicious.
Wow.
It melts.
I forgot you be doing all your little cooking stuff too. That's my thing too. With a nice warm it up, put it in the microwave.
For 8 seconds.
It's so good.
Oh,
It's
that's
so good. So, like, when you're not doing music, what do you do to just chill and vibe? Like, what's your thing to, like, when you're not in the spotlight? Because I feel like the cameras are always on you.
My new favorite thing is going to the chiropractor. Yes, girl. I got my back cracked and my neck cracked and a lot of things cracked about two weeks ago. And after that, I slept for 14 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it just showed how much tension I was holding in my body while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And I really recommend that because that's not something that's advertised to us. And it's, you know, with the right chiropractor to get you right.
Yeah. What made you want to do that? Did you get into a car accident or
So,
something?
no, I hold a lot of stress in my back. And my massage lady, a real one, because she was like, I could only do so much for whatever tension you're holding. And the only way you can, not the only way, but one of the ways you can fix this is by going to a chiropractor. I got the perfect woman for you.
Wow. I try to do Reiki therapy.
I've tried that before.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
Yeah. Did you feel lifted after doing the therapy?
Well, I had a lot of layers.
So she couldn't get into the body?
She was trying.
Yeah.
She was doing.
Yeah.
She was definitely doing. I'm vibrating. Oh my gosh. Let me turn this airplane mode. My bad, girl.
It's all good. It's all good. The microphone, the gum, the vibration. This is like real time right here. I love it. Wait, so you have multiple layers. So the Reiki therapy.
Yeah, she was like, I think you should work on this. So I would always leave my session with like homework to do.
Did you do the homework?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Did you feel better after you did the homework?
Not necessarily better, but I felt like I was making progress.
Yeah.
With healing myself.
Yeah. What parts of yourself you felt you really needed to work on?
She said my heart. I had a lot of, you know, childhood memories that I needed to go through.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You're a Cancer?
I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, cancers hold a lot in their heart because they're very loving people.
Mm-hmm.
And they give a lot of themselves to people.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you give a lot of yourself to people, you take on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to release those layers of energy that you take on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a highly believer in that. Like
Mm-hmm.
taking care of that space.
And then also just being aware of what you do letting into your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, being mindful of those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're young, you don't realize how much of that you carry. You
Yeah.
just feel like you just go through the motions, right?
Right. And there's like, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but according to like past studies that's been done, we hold like trauma in our body. Like our body remembers it. We may not like address it head on in the moment or any time in life, but our body remembers. And if our body is holding on to that trauma or that experience, it's still thinking about it, but we may not be thinking about it in the moment. So I think it was great for me to identify a lot of the issues where maybe like a lot of resentment was trapped, issues where I may have not forgiven people, or maybe I'm not forgiven myself. And sometimes those experiences have a subconscious effect of the actions that we take and how we move. So I was able to change like parts of me that I wasn't too happy with, or ways that I could improve as a friend, as a family member, as a peer, as a coworker. Yeah. It helped me like become a better person when I was able to resolve issues that I was holding on to, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And the number one place women hold trauma in is their belly area.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why the belly?
So what I've learned from taking my trip to Bali, I took a trip to Bali by myself, 29 hours on an airplane with a backpack and some yoga pants. And
how old were you?
This was just last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, tell me what happened.
So I went out there because I was looking for like a spiritual cleanse. Like I felt like there was a part of me that wasn't reaching my highest potential and my highest self.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that I needed to really take a reset and close the noise out. You know, because sometimes we are moving and we think that success is how many accolades, like how much money we make, what type of car we drive, where we live, and we think that makes us successful, and it's not. It's like you wake up and you have all of these things and you're still unhappy, right? So I went because I needed a quiet place to hear God's voice, to hear spirituality. And when I was there, one of the therapists did a massage on me, and basically she goes through your childhood trauma. First she does a session with you, and you have to throw away everything you learn in Western society, everything you're taught, right? And it was like a 9-day spiritual journey, like a 9-day retreat.
How'd you pick this person?
I went online and I saw I just said Google spiritual retreats for women.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, Bali. And I called my best friend. I'm like, I'm going to go. She's like, bitch, what? That's 29 hours on a plane by yourself. What if that's a sex trafficking trap and all of this stuff? Like, people were trying to talk me out of it. I booked the trip like 2 days before going. I was like, you know what? I'm closing out the noise. I'm going. And when I went there, it was people from all over the world, not from the United States, but from Africa, from where else was it? Another lady was from Japan. People from all over the world was there, and it was all women. And the first thing they tell you is to let go of anything, any norms, any cultural norms, anything you've been taught. And so you do these things leading up to the session I'm telling you about the belly. And then towards the end, she does this like massage, genetic energy release type thing on your body. And my belly, so deep down, felt like rocks. It was so painful because I was holding so much trauma in my belly. And she taught me how women hold a lot of trauma in their belly. Things that I needed to forgive myself about, that going back to your point, there's things that we do on our journey in life that we do them, A, because we don't know any better, or two, we're trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So things that we don't know isn't, that we just do because we need to survive. And we're not, and we look back and we feel guilty about them, or we feel bad about ourselves, or we say like, yo, that was just, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm. And just doing things because we didn't know any better. You know, like as I get older, some of the sayings, like I'll be in a situation and I'll be like, that's what that quote means. Yeah. Like, you know, the saying, if you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
But if you're out here without a role model, a big sister, a big brother, or somebody guiding you, I feel like sometimes mistakes are made, but you do have to forgive yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so they taught you about that. And I feel like it's more so magnified too in our industry, right? And coming at you, for an example, coming in the industry so young, me coming in the industry so young, I remember you a few years back meeting you at the BET Awards before you were like super big with Remy years ago. I think Deborah Lee at a brunch, the Deborah Lee brunch. And I say that to say, like, we were young your age coming into the game. And I feel like you have you guys have it worse because the camera is always on you. So you are not giving as much grace to grow. Everything is scrutinized from top to bottom. And that's a lot of pressure.
It is.
It's no room to make mistakes. And if you do make mistakes, you have to hide them from the world. You can't deal with them like a regular person. So I think that's a lot harder on your generation of women. Agree or disagree?
I agree up to the point where I feel. This is what I'm trying to say. I feel like I've at least came to peace with myself. Like if I make a mistake publicly, I always feel like I can always make a public statement to address like what happened.
Yeah.
And if and that would be like my way to come to peace with it. And after that, I would just let it go, because I don't think a lot of people can do what we do. And once I was able to view it from that standpoint, it made me less, I would say less timid to be in the spotlight as much. Yeah. Because I can't stop living my life as a human because I'm a musician. Yeah. And I'm going to make mistakes. We're not robots, we're humans. Yeah. And as long as I'm growing from mistakes, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you always want to be a musician?
I wanted to be a hairstylist. But back then, hairstylists wasn't making as much money as much as the hairstylists are making now. Yeah. So that dream quickly faded. I fell in love with music, and then after that, I just knew that I would always be in the music industry. And I think, I'm not saying I would have settled, but if I wasn't a musician, I would have loved to do something that was at least involved with music. I would have even been an assistant just to work my way up and just seeing what I would have liked. In another life, I think I would have did like PR or something, because I like people and I like relationships. So I think I'd be like a really good PR person.
And you got a sense of building a brand too, and that's what PR people do.
Yeah,
they help build a brand. Are you very into the day to day of your management and your brand deals and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I don't look at the extended contract, my lawyers will like send me a briefing of all the points that I need to be aware of, just to know what they're expecting of me and what I should be expecting of them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have 2 records that you dropped. Nani's doing really well. And the last time we spoke, you said that was a playoff of Foxy Brown.
El Nana.
El Nana. Growing up, was you a big fan of Foxy?
My mom was a big fan of Foxy, so naturally I was a big fan of Foxy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you wanted something, you wanted to spin off something.
I wanted a word that we didn't hear so much, and I feel like I haven't heard too many of the Nana or the Il Nana conversations, and she was such a a staple in that time period, and she still is today. So that was just me paying like homage to her and just appreciating the word Nana and Nani, because I like how she played with it too. Like, it could mean several things. And for me, like, when people press play on Nani, I want them to feel like the main character. I want them to have a good time. I feel like it's a really bright record that's a good theme song for a great day.
Yeah. How do you approach your music when you get in and you record?
It depends on my mood. It really depends on my mood. If I'm not identifying with the frequency or the energy of the track, I can't write to it, because then I'm going to come off as fake. So if I'm having a bad day, I need to do a song that's releasing these emotions. If I'm having a great day, let's make some fun, turn up music. So I definitely have to be identifying with the mood at that moment.
Yeah. Do you feel like your music is as big as your celebrityism?
That's really interesting that you say that, because that's one of the main reasons why for me, I didn't take a break, but to the world I did, because I wasn't as visible online as I was in quarantine. But there was a moment where I felt like my brand was bigger than my music, and I love music. Like, music played a really important part in my childhood. It was my freedom of expression. It was therapy. It was an art that I felt like belonged to me. And once, like, the brand deals, the face, the content began to outweigh the music, I had to retreat, and I had to get back to the building blocks of what made Saweetie Saweetie, because the fashion, the brand deals, the campaign wouldn't have mattered without Icy Girl, My Type, the EPs that I put out, Tap In, my freestyles. Tap in. Yeah. So I had to tap in back with myself.
Yes.
And I had to reevaluate. And, you know, there's times where you do have to reevaluate and get explanations later. And that's what I did. Some people were kind of confused, like, oh, she just disappeared. No, I had to go reevaluate.
Yeah. Take a break and reset and kind of look at it as a whole picture.
Right. You know, and see what I really wanted to do, because although the money was great, I felt like I was conflicted as an artist. Like, what are you really doing it for? Are you doing it for the art? Or are you doing it for the visibility? I appreciate the visibility, but my art started to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. And then people start talking. I think when that happens, people start talking more about you versus listening to the projects that you put out.
Absolutely.
And I can see why you say, hey, you know what, let me reset and get back to these hits and what people love about me, you know, which is you're always going to give the girls a bop. You know what I mean? You're always going to give us something for the summer. And I think that's what they love about you.
And also just more tracks where you're able to get to know me. And my next record that I'm putting out is called My Best. I feel like it's one of the first records that's a song, that's a combination of the emotions from my freestyle, but the catchiness of, you know, my more commercial records. It's a blend that I've been working on, because if it was up to me, I would just do freestyles. Yeah. I feel like that's when I get off my stream of conscious. That's when I get off what I've been holding on to. That's the weight I get off of my shoulders. So I'm really proud of this record, My Best, because I feel like it's a fusion of like a song and a freestyle.
Yeah. So you said something interesting just now. You said that people will get to know you. Who you are? When you said that, I kind of said to myself in my head, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I think a lot of people know you from what they read about you. So who are you deep down?
Well, I'm a girl from California. I'm college educated. I got a bachelor in communication. I come from a multi-ethnic background.
Well, I know that part, but right. Who are you? Like, who is the girl inside of you? Who do you inspire to be? What makes you tick? Who are you? Have you and you don't have to answer that today, because perhaps you're still trying to figure that out.
I think that's definitely a loaded question that can go off into, you know, different conversations. But you are right. What are the emotions that I carry from my childhood? What are the experiences that I went through? How have I reacted to some of the things that have happened to me so publicly? But yeah, just addressing things that are below the surface rather than sticking to what you guys already know. So you're right.
Yeah, yeah. And can we expect that in the new music?
That's what I've been working on, because through those moments of rediscovering my layers and getting down to the bottom of why I feel the way I feel about certain things, I had to become more vulnerable. I wasn't as vulnerable. Well, I don't think I was vulnerable, period, when I came out. I came in like my walls were up. But I feel like music is an expression of the soul. Yeah. So I would like to show more vulnerable sides of me.
And vulnerability is scary.
At
least for me. I don't know about for you.
No, that's why I came in walls up, you know. Like there wasn't that much. I feel like I haven't told enough stories yet, and there's a lot of stories for me to tell, as we all do. So yeah. I'm excited to do that.
You can tell one right now. Feel free.
What kind of story you want?
Feel free to tell whatever you want to tell. Feel free.
It's lots of stories though.
No, it's interesting because one of my therapists, tells me all the time, walls only block your highest potential, right? And I never really understood that. I'm like, because I had a tough life, a very, very tough life. So
what happened?
Just like in general, like. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a very poverty-stricken home, mm-hmm. sexual abuse, mm-hmm. all types of trauma as a kid, right? Mm-hmm. And I dealt with my trauma by becoming more successful. Like, mm-hmm. I literally was like, oh, I'm going to prove to the world my worth. Mm-hmm. And my worth is going to dictate how hard I work. And that's just the total opposite. And I didn't know that until I got a little bit older, mm-hmm. and actually start to dig into the reasons why I did a lot of things, the reasons why I wasn't really great at relationships, the reason why I pushed people aside, mm-hmm. whether they were friends, it could have been romantic or non-romantic. Mm-hmm. I was always going to keep you here. Like, you was never going to really get here. Mm-hmm. As long as you stayed at bay, we was cool. Mm-hmm. But you start moving this way, nah, like, I feel like I'm a little bit more open mm-hmm. to newer relationships. Mm-hmm. I'm married now, but even in marriage, it's still levels of vulnerability.
How long you been married for?
August will make 6 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's still levels of vulnerability that mm-hmm. you have to have in marriage. There's still levels of walls that you put up. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's, the case for you as well, with relationships. Like, and learning how to break those down. Mm. But if you want to reach your highest potential, the only way to do that is to break down the walls.
Well, I think I do. No, I think I know. I identify with having to prove your self-worth with success. But the more successful you get, when you realize there's no change internally, we really have to figure out how you internally evaluate your self-worth. So I like that you said that, because I did think when I got my label deal, I did think when I made all this money, I did think when I got this car, this condo, this and that, I would feel better. And when I didn't, I knew I had to reevaluate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you have an old soul deep down.
Maybe.
I love that. What do you got planned for the summer? Any trips you're going on? You doing anything fun, or you just pushing out this album?
It's so crazy that you mentioned going to Bali. I was actually supposed to go on vacation for my birthday, but I didn't want to go on any vacation. I wanted to go on a women's self retreat, and I couldn't find it. So yeah. I'm a tap in with you after this, yeah. And I'd love to get the information, because I didn't want to go on a fun vacation where I was partying and turning up. I wanted to go on a self-healing and rejuvenating type of vacation. That's what your vacation sound like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really, just get ready, because where I was staying was it was made out of bamboo.
Mm-hmm. Was it a lot of bugs?
It wasn't a lot of bugs, but it took me some getting used to the water not being hot, cool.
But it's hot outside though, right?
Yeah, it was hot. Okay. It was hot. But where I stayed was the food was incredible. I will tell you that. it was all vegan though. But it didn't taste like, you know, it had flavor. You know, when I say vegan, people are like, no, it was like, it was really good. But the place is all made out of bamboo. So, you know, it's not luxury. It's not like staying at like the Ritz-Carlton. It's like, oh, okay, you know, this is.
How was the showering situation?
The showering situation was interesting. The bathroom was clean. It was interesting, meaning like it was lukewarm water. It was lukewarm in the beginning, and the longer you stayed in it, it got cold.
Did you guys use like a tin? Or
No, it was like a shower.
Okay.
It was like a real bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a real bathroom. It wasn't like, I wouldn't been able to have taken that. Like,
okay,
you know, I need a little bit of like, it's got to be a little bit functioning here. But I would go in and be like, okay, I got 5 minutes, or then I'm like, no, I got 2, and then like put the soap. Like,
yeah. So how many days was this? 9.
9.
No, that's not too bad.
With no internet, neither. You can't be on your phone.
Well, you know, when I had took a break, when I was just in the studio, I was barely online. This year, when I was having all my meetings with my teams and heating my algorithm back up, I had to start posting more regularly because the algorithm had essentially forgotten, you know, traces of me. So I had to post more, and that in itself was a struggle. But now like I'm good now. Yeah. But staying offline for 9 days, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so rejuvenating to give your mind a break, right? So when is the album coming out? Soon.
And I say soon because I don't have a date. I've been putting out my singles just to figure out what the story is going to be. But this is the first time in a long time where I am dropping music consistently. So I'd like to focus on my consistency and then my album afterwards.
Yeah. And who's producing the bulk of the album? Are you working with?
There's 2 producers who I've been working a lot with. One is Jay White.
Okay.
Super talented. Yeah. Super cool too. Yeah. And we was both raised in the church, so we be having like a lot of church jokes that we be
Tell him his Lakers are still bum ass Lakers.
I'm a Lakers fan, girl. Hello.
They still bums.
We got team.
Bums. You know we gotta ride with the Knicks. We got to ride with the Knicks. My house is so divided because my son is a huge Steph Curry fan. But we got to ride. We got to ride with the Knicks. We got to ride. They had an incredible run this year.
Okay, girl.
Jay White is incredible. And you said who else?
And Jean-Baptiste.
Okay.
He did Nani.
Nice. I didn't know Jean-Baptiste did Nani.
He did Nani and a couple other records.
Wow. How was that working with him?
He's great.
He's so musical, right?
Yeah, so musical, and he has like a real ear. What I love about working with him is for every session he shows up and he's paying attention the whole time. Like nothing gets by him. He's not on his phone. He's not showing up late. Like he's really, really involved, and I respect that. And I like working with creatives who are there and they're in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What album number is this for you?
1.
This is 1?
Yeah.
Wow. For whatever reason, I thought those were just mixtapes?
Those were EPs.
EPs. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought this was at least album number 3 for you.
No, it's number 1. And, you know, an album rollout is a real serious rollout. So I'm really excited for that as well. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Are you nervous? You're pretty calm for this being like your first album.
I think through my experience, I'm just prepared.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm more mature now. I look at the world differently. I look at myself differently. I feel like the woman who I am today is ready to drop an album.
Yeah. Because you have been through some experiences that you can
I don't
pop
live
your
some
shit
life.
on. Yeah.